1988 saw the release of Final Fantasy's first sequel of many, the first one becoming such a success that Square would be crazy not to follow it up. More than a dozen times. This was the start of the short-lived tradition of Square holding off on game releases for the US due to a seeming lack of interest in RPG games. Final Fantasy IV became our Final Fantasy II, making this game, I don't know, Final Fantasy 1 1/2? Well, actually no, because we didn't get Final Fantasy III either, so more like Final Fantasy 1 1/3. Now, still makes more sense than the Kingdom Hearts titles. But all that changed when the PlayStation came out and we got Final Fantasy Origins, which my brothers owned. And I never really bothered to play. Until today. Boy was I not missing out. The game starts with 4 poor bastards running from an army that has invaded their hometown. The game throws you into an encounter with Black Knights and you die. And that's how the game starts. It puts you in an unwinnable fight. Gotta give him points for creativity though. I'm in a forest. You know, normally I hate these types of unwinnable battles in RPGs. And you know why? As a kid, I would get so pissed when I lost a boss fight, I would immediately reset the system and not give the game the satisfaction of showing me the game over screen. Only to realize that if I had just stopped and let the game continue, the story would have just kept going. But this is just the beginning of the games. It's not like they're gonna throw you in the deep end like that and expect you to win a fight where one hit from the enemies kills you. Though in retrospect, nah, we gotta keep moving on. So of course all is not really lost and you wake up revived and in Altair, a town that's hiding the refugees of the fallen kingdom of Fynn. This time around, our main characters are built into the story and actually have dialogues with each other, so no more making up stupid backstories for me. Obviously for Final Fantasy sequels, they don't try to follow up on where the last one leaves off, not that you really could, since Dude and Co. reached god status and brought balance to the Force or whatever the hell. No, instead we get a different land with different characters. Firion, a dude wearing makeup that puts even the Princess of Fynn to shame. Maria, whose combat model looks just like Psylocke from the X-Men. I mean, look at that. That can't be a coincidence. And Guy, who the game creators forgot to give a personality. There was a fourth in the group named Leon, who is apparently Maria's brother, but his body wasn't found after the attack, not like this is gonna lead to anything later. Princess Hilda wants to fight back the Imperial Army and regain control of Fynn. Problem is, the Fynn army is only a fraction of its former self, the king is dying, and supplies are sorely needed if they wish to succeed in a counterattack. If only there was someone around who can help the princess and gather what's needed to strike back against the Empire. Some small group of orphans with nothing to lose who are destined for greatness or something. Oh, fuck, man, I'm at a loss. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the premise for Final Fantasy II. You spend the majority of the game being the princess's errand boy. But hey, I'm not complaining. This is a huge step forward from Final Fantasy I's where the hell do I go bullshittery. Altair acts as a central hub for your adventure, and this time people actually tell you where you should go next. It's fucking brilliant. So your first stop, surprisingly, is back to the now Imperial-controlled Fynn. That is after Hilda tells you that you can't join her army because you're just kids. But yeah, wander into enemy territory. That's just fine. So we gear up and head out to Fynn, bashing goblin skulls on the way. Just like old times. At Fynn, the place is crawling with Imperial soldiers and you have to talk to the owner of the bar. Tell him that you're working for the rebels and he lets you in the back room where you find Prince Scott lying in a bed. Who just dies. Oh no, not Prince Scott, he was like the best character in the game! So you go back to Hilda and tell her what happened, and that Scott didn't say anything before he died. Well, actually, he said quite a bit, but okay, whatever. Next you have to go to a mine to find Mithril, and Minwu, the white mage, decides to be your fourth party member. So you meet with Cid, who, of course, has an airship. So you take his airship, explore a cave, fight a boss, head back to Altair with the Mithril, take a wrong turn, and die. Whoops. Yeah, this game can be hard. There's quite a few instances where you can accidentally wander into an unwinnable situation. It's another one of those Final Fantasies where you actually have to rely on potions instead of just letting them sit in your inventory all game. And of course there's the other stuff you'll need too, like antidotes and mallets. Oh, they cure amnesia. That's pretty hilarious. I'm basically controlling the Three Stooges through an epic quest. So your next errand is to stop the Empire from building their big bad airship of mass destruction called the Dreadnought. But that fails and Altair gets attacked. Minwu leaves the party and now I'm lost? The princess doesn't have a new quest for me? But that's not fair. I gotta get my questing fix. Why gotta be such a tease? Send me on a pointless journey, please, I'm begging you. Do you know where you're supposed to go from here? Do you have any idea? I mean, I know I've been skipping some stuff, but really, at this point, your guess would have been just as good as mine. You have to talk to Cid. Yeah, Cid. A random NPC in a random town out of half a dozen you could go to at this point. You're supposed to talk to him and learn about Sunfire, an item that can destroy the Dreadnought, and then bring that information to Hilda, who then sends you on an errand to get the damn thing. So that's your next stop, the keep that holds the Sunfire, right? Wrong. If you didn't stop to talk to the king first and learn that the only way to get to the torch that can hold the Sunfire is to use a goddess bell, you'd still be running around the world like a trust fund baby fresh out of college. How am I supposed to know that? Well, at least this leads to an interesting dungeon. Since Minwu pieced out to help the dying king, we meet up with a monk named Joseph, who joins the party to help get the goddess bell from a random cave. It's your standard Final Fantasy dungeon until you enter a room full of beavers. Yeah, beavers. Not something fantasy related like Mogs or, I don't know, Ewoks. And Guy then decides to talk to the beavers because he can speak beaver. Guy, speak beaver.
Squeaky, squeaker, squeaking.
Well, that's weird. Of all the mystical and whimsy of Final Fantasy, it's a dungeon room full of beavers that you talk to. So we get the goddess bell, thanks to a bunch of goddamn beavers, and we run into Kefka. I mean, Borghen, the Emperor's right-hand man, who's hilariously a pushover in battle. After kicking his ass, he springs a trap and Joseph sacrifices himself to save the other three. Yeah, Joseph's dead. And really, I wouldn't give a flying fuck if it weren't for the fact that I equipped him with some of my best gear. Yeah, this is sad and all. He died to save us and has a daughter at home, was a day away from monk retirement. But how about we just go ahead and get that silver armor off of his pancake corpse? It's not like he's gonna need it. And that's the way it goes in this game with the fourth party member. They just peace out without warning. The next place you go to, you have this fucking wimp Gordon just randomly join your team. It's so unpredictable and makes it really hard to maximize your group. You don't know when the fourth character is gonna leave, so you don't know if it's worth spending the money or time on them for gear or experience. And in the case of Gordon, he's just a goddamn liability. He's worthless. Most of my moves in combat are spent healing the son of a bitch. So we get the torch, light it with the Sunfire, die a good number of times because fuck me, the Animantoise is now a normal encounter, even though he was a final boss in the previous dungeon. Thank God for the teleport spell is all I'm saying. We step foot out of the keep and... oh, Cid's airship just got caught by the Dreadnought. Wait, the princess was on board the airship? Why was Hilda on Cid's airship? I mean, I'm the errand boy. I'm doing all this so you could sit on your fat ass all day. Your Majesty. My best guess is that she was being initiated into the Mile High Club. Oh, Cid, you scurvy old dog. Well, damn. How are we gonna infiltrate the Dreadnought? It's way up in the air and the only other airship in the game is inside. Oh, they just parked it on the ground. Well, that was nice of them. So the group busts in to save the princess and blow up the Dreadnought. And I'll give credit here. For a dungeon, this is pretty unique. We have to fight our way through soldiers, panthers, and Hillgigus. Oh, this is gonna hurt. So Hilda and Cid get saved, eventually. Furion applies the Sunfire to the engine, and the mysterious Dark Knight shows up to tell us meddling kids off. Oh wait, it's just Leon. No? Nobody in the group notices that it's Leon? They don't even try to hide it. I could see his stupid face. Ah, whatever. Let's get the hell out of here. Now, there's something about this game that's so infamous, so unrefined, so non-Final Fantasy that I would have to be stupid not to bring it up. I think we all know what I'm talking about. The doors that lead to nothing. What? They're dumb. Oh right, and the leveling system is a broken piece of garbage. That too. Instead of picking a class for your characters, Final Fantasy II gives you blank slates, and the leveling system lets you choose which characters are going to be good at what. Which sounds good on paper until you actually put it into practice. See, whenever a character does a certain action, like cast a spell or impale some chump with a spear, the game takes that into account and raises the stats those actions require. So it would give those who cast spells more magic power, and the guy with the poking stick increased spear damage and strength overall. Sounds good. It makes more sense than suddenly becoming better at using magic after chopping an army of goblins in half with an axe. And the Elder Scrolls games famously implemented this kind of leveling too. But then there's the hit points. Like all the other stats, the character's health is increased depending on how much it's used in combat, meaning you have to get hit. But your enemies have a tendency to only hit certain characters. So you can grind all you want, but there's bound to be that one character who's gonna die if the enemy decides to finally attack them. I'm looking at you, Maria. So basically you have to purposely break the game's mechanics by having your characters beat the ever-loving shit out of each other to increase attack, magic, and hit points. Because that's the only way to guarantee your characters will get tougher as they level. The game is literally encouraging me to beat myself. Anyway, the next errand we're sent on is to find the Dragoons and Wyverns to help bolster the rebel army. We're told to find a ship and come across this really nice lady who just happens to offer up hers. We set sail to, I don't know, wherever we're going, and oh look at that, they were pirates all along. Man, Final Fantasy really doesn't like pirates. First there was that random asshole who attacks you just for talking to him in one, and now this. And in both cases, they're complete pushovers. Not to mention derpy looking as fuck. So anyway, we take out all the pirates, and according to pirate code, I guess, that means the captain gets to be nice to us and joins our party. And then I get lost. Well, we just got access to our own ship, so I'm gonna assume our next destination has to be somewhere we can only get to by a ship. Well, there's this random island with a cave in it. Must be the place. Well, I finally beat the dungeon and got a black mask. Wait a minute. That's not what I was looking for. So I was supposed to be at Castle Deist? Are you telling me I just went through a dungeon I wasn't even supposed to be at yet? I guess the monsters were kind of tough, but I just figured the game was being super unforgiving again. I can't believe I just jumped ahead like that. Actually, to be fair, the main thing that got me through this cave was the Gaia Drum item, but I think I broke it. It's supposed to be one of those items you use to do massive damage, and then it's gone. It leaves your inventory. But I was able to use it over and over, and it's still there. Well, whatever this black mask is, I guess I don't have to worry about getting it. So the Castle Deist quest sucks. You find out all the Dragoons are gone and that the only surviving Wyvern is dying. After that quest, you go back to Altair, where the princess wants a private word with you in her bedchambers. Well then. Ah! Ah! Well, the Empire's more crafty than I thought and planted a decoy princess to be saved in the Dreadnoughts. So no, the princess wasn't just a monster in disguise her entire life. Though that would have been cool. And our next mission is to save the real princess being held captive at a coliseum in the desert. This time, Gordon decides to help and joins the party again. Oh, no, Gordon. No, please, stay in town, man. The people need you. They need your skills. Turns out the desert around the Coliseum is full of stupid hard monsters, but fortunately there's a grove nearby that has chocobos. We get to the Coliseum and encounter a behemoth. Good job there, Gordon. Really glad you forced yourself into the group there. After that, we get thrown in a dungeon that holds the captive princess. Gordon, I never thought I would see you here. I know, right? He's fucking worthless. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the rebel army is ready to strike at the Empire and reclaim Castle Finn. Our 3 young orphans and a pirate on the front lines. You know, so it wouldn't be a total loss if they died. And sure enough, the raid is a success, with the Empire now on the back foot. But that doesn't mean the princess is done with sending us on errands. No, sir! Minwu, the white mage, left for a place called Mysidia to get the Ultima Tome, a powerful spell that could end the Empire once and for all. But of course, to get to the tower, we need a crystal rod. But on top of that, to get the rod, we'll need a white mask and a black mask. Haha, one step ahead of you, you slave-driving harpy. Once we have both masks, we go to a town full of mages and... Oh god, no! Abanez! He's learned to clone himself!
At last, world domination is mine. Tremble, mortals, as my god, do you ever stop talking? It's like this every time we get a customer. Domination this, domination that. Hey, you guys gonna buy something or what? Well, world domination is so ridiculous.
Next to the town is a cave and our next dungeon, which I can't get through because this handsome devil keeps getting in my way. Come on, man, this cave ain't big enough for 2 purple mascara wearing men. So what do I do here? The purity of Firion's heart is stifling the defiled heart of the creature? What? Oh, I'm an idiot. This is where the masks come in. Of course, when you run into a doppelganger of yourself, you put a black mask you found in a cave on it. It's very deep. Well, I got the crystal staff. I'm at the tower I use it at, and... Oh. Okay, so we just got eaten by a Leviathan. Check us out, we're inside a monster's gut. Man, how many people did this Leviathan eat? It swallows anyone who has the crystal staff? How many crystal staffs are there? Because I had to bust my ass for this one. Well, the nice pirate lady is in our group for this one, so for our number 4, we meet the last of the Dragoons named Ricard. And he's a total badass. With Ricard's help, we fight the boss to get out of the Leviathan. Turns out the poor thing just has worms. You know, I've been thinking about how messed up and impractical the leveling system is in this game, and I think I've been doing this all wrong. So far, Firion's been using swords, Maria uses a bow and heals, and Guy's been double-fisting axes and spears. That's too generic. I mean, the way the game is set up, anybody could use anything. It's just a matter of putting the practice into it so they don't suck. Huh. I'll be right back. Yep, I did some grinding. Fortunately, I kept finding sentient balls of toothpaste in the forest who hardly take any physical damage and can't hit me for shit. Because fuck hitting my own heroes to raise up their HP and stamina. And check out my new lineup. Firion, the atypical hero of RPGs who's usually a jack of all trades, is now my new wimpy archer who sits in the back lines and heals the party with white magic. Maria, the girl character who is almost always relegated to healing duties because Final Fantasy is kind of sexist like that, is now my badass fighter with a sword in each hand. Hilariously, she still hits for shit despite my grinding. And finally Guy, the big, dumb, cuddly character who has the most health and deals the most damage, is now my new black mage. Yeah, now this is how you Final Fantasy. Screw all those class stereotypes. This is the new age of fetch questing. Oh right, Minwu and the Ultima Tome. Well, we get the Ultima Tome, but Minwu dies. That makes the death count like, what, 3? Kinda loses its dramatic effect when it's just given out like candy. I mean, oh no, he was so young. The next trick up the Emperor's sleeve is apparently a cyclone that has a giant fortress in the center of it, because I guess he just happened to have one lying around. Inside, we finally come face to face with the Emperor, whose only last resort is to throw weak soldiers at us. I know your pain, guys. I've been tossed around by royalty myself. It's tough. With the Emperor dead, everyone at Castle Finn has a dance party. But gasp! The Dark Knight from earlier has taken the Emperor's place and is reorganizing their army, and the Dark Knight is Leon! Who could have seen that coming? The reveal was even too much for the messenger. Well, I guess it's time to storm the Emperor's castle, which apparently wasn't the giant flying fortress in the middle of a cyclone. No, this one you need an airship to get to. And there's only one man I know who can get us an airship. It's Cid. And after he lets us have it, he decides to take a nap. Oh, come on! Now this is just getting ridiculous. Cid wasn't even in any fight, but the game decides to just have him keel over from, what, old age? You can't just kill characters left and right and expect it to be shocking. There has to be substance. There has to be reason. This was so unexpected, it's actually kind of hilarious. Like some sort of black comedy. I don't think that's what they were going for here. Whatever, moving on. So now we have control of our own airship again, and we landed on the Emperor's castle. We land it. We land it. We land. There we go. Furion and co finally meet face to face with Leon, and Maria tries to talk some sense into him, but he's having none of that noise. Yeah, what's the deal with Leon anyway? Was he brainwashed? Did the loss of his home break him mentally? We don't get any clear explanation, just he rules the Empire now and he's all powerful. Seriously, I want to know what happened to him. The Emperor comes in to interrupt the awkward reunion to reveal that killing him only made him the new ruler of the underworld, the King of Darkness, the Desolate One.
First of the fallen, the spoiler of virgins, the master of abortions.
The group tries to escape from the Emperor and... Ricard sacrifices himself so the rest of the group can hop on a wyvern and fly away. Why am I not surprised? So I guess this makes Leon our new number 4. Must have had a change of heart or something. Didn't seem like he was on our side just a few minutes ago. And our last dungeon is a dive into hell, so points again for creativity. Furion, this is no time to be blazing. Our heroes face off against the Master of Hell and, of course, save the world. Yeah, fuck you, demon guy. Back at Castle Finn, Gordon, Hilda, and Joseph's daughter run off to have an orgy, and Jesus Christ, Maria, don't ever smile again. Leon breaks up the celebration and admits that he can't stay. Again, wish we learned what happened to him. And he pieces out to find himself. Oh my god. I just realized. Leon's the first emo character in Final Fantasy. This game was the first to introduce Final Fantasy icons like Cid, Chocobos, Dragoons, and black-wearing Broodmeisters. But anyway, that's the end. I guess all that's left on the Game Boy Advance version is to check out the bestiary. Oh wait, there's another game. Soul of Rebirth. Aw man, you mean there's more to Final Fantasy II? Of course, the Game Boy remakes added new content to both games. Well, actually, it's a cool premise. You start off back in Pandemonium as Minwu and meet up with Scott, the prince from before. Joseph, who's fighting the Emperor's right-hand man, and Ricard, who's fighting the ringworm from the Leviathan. It's a clever idea. They took the comical amount of random character deaths and turned it into its own story, and made these characters the leads and the backdrop of the afterlife element of the main game. The party of the dead discover that they're in the afterlife, and each find out that they had all met the 3 orphans from the main story before they died. Mother of God, they must be cursed! Everybody they come in contact with dies a horrible death, like being crushed, fucking exploding, or just dying. That must be why Leon, Maria's own brother, chose to work on the side that's out to kill them. He knew this whole time and tried to stop the curse. Or maybe not. I don't fucking know. The whole side game is basically like the original game, with more emphasis on dungeon crawling. Really, the whole thing is a dungeon crawl, which we all know is my favorite fucking thing in this game. Stupid doors that lead to nothing. And being extra content means they crank up the difficulty to goddamn 12. Every fight ends in a healing session. They captured the essence of hell perfectly. The only part of the game where you don't get attacked by monsters is this little town you teleport to after you go through the first dungeon, which was apparently built by Cid and the souls of other people who died during the war with the Empire. Oh man, this is hilarious. These people are in hell and just decided to build not only a pub, but also shops. Shops in hell, built by people who just got there. Don't ever say the people of Finn aren't an industrious folk. They live between 2 portals that contain endless pain and suffering, but there's still gonna be some asshole who will charge you gold coins for a health potion. I gave up on this game. It's basically grind, go a little bit farther, die, grind again, go farther, die. The extra content in Final Fantasy 1 was great because it was part of the main game and let you explore weird dungeons and fight familiar bosses from later installments. Even better, it rewarded you with gear you could use in the regular game. This is just some added bullshit that makes little difference to the main story. I looked it up and basically you fight the Emperor again. That's it. So in conclusion, Final Fantasy II made some missteps. But I may have been a little too harsh on it, you know, considering it was the first sequel to this extensive series. The locations for dungeons are pretty unique and, you know, despite all the pointless deaths, the story was pretty good and stepped away from the generic Chosen One angle. Just let fantasy heroes be random people who go on a grand quest to save the world at large. They don't need to fulfill some destiny, and that's what Final Fantasy II gives you, the everyman becoming heroes. You know, I can't help but shake the feeling I've heard this story before. The heroes lose their home to the Empire, join a rebel resistance led by a princess. The princess gets captured by the Empire and is imprisoned on a massive warship. The Emperor's lackey is a dude in black armor who turns out to be someone that was previously assumed dead. One of the characters can talk to a furry creature. This all seems so familiar to me. Oh well. On to the next!